A very good day to you. My name is Shankari, and today we're going to take a small look at breathing techniques or breath work. So, why is it so important to concentrate or focus our attention on breath work? Uh, Breath work is a practice of regulating our breathing instead of, you know, simply breathing, not being aware of it, trying to regulate your breathing in a way that you regulate your physical responses. You regulate your emotional and mental responses. So, the best way to describe it is to simply try it for yourself. Try changing your breathing cycles, not in an extreme way, just a very comfortable way. And notice or start to notice the difference in feeling physically, emotionally, and mentally. So, how do we start, right? The first thing you can do is start to breathe deeper and longer. Just slow or gradually decrease the rapidity of your breathing. So, if I breathe and I let it out, that almost instantly calms you down. Just one breath, just regulating one breathing cycle, which is inhalation and exhalation, changes how your awareness, your consciousness almost instantly. And um, our breathing, if you look at it from a philosophical point of view, our breathing is usually how we live our life. If we're breathing short and just up here, we're usually very stressed. We usually, the breath doesn't go right down to your belly. We're usually very, hyper, doing lots of things. The mind is very active. The physical body is also sometimes very active and not conscious. You're not conscious about all these things that are going on. So when you breathe full, your lungs fully expand, your belly fully expands, you live your life more fully. You live your life completely, which means when your breath goes into you and you fully experience, you take on task more fully in your life. So you're not running away from things you don't like. You're not running away from things you fear or feel a bit of resistance to. You're facing it. You're facing whatever happens. So your breath is how you live how you breathe is how you live your life. So if you want to know how you're living your life, start to become conscious about how you're breathing. And then you know that becoming more conscious of your breath, getting more oxygen into you, getting more of this essence of the air into you is how you respond again to your life, is how you move again into your life. So if you take a moment, if you have some time, sit down in your chair as comfortably as you can. So move into a sitting position. It's better if you're sitting. You can also stand, but hopefully not lie down with this, because then that's a different practice. We just want to get ourselves into a space where we can become aware of our breathing, and then we can change it just a little to notice the difference in our physical body, to notice the difference emotionally, and to notice the difference mentally. It may take some time. So the first time you start to do this, you may not notice anything. The first time you start to do this, you may not see anything. Try it for 5 days, then you will start to notice. It's not that the things are not happening, it's that we're so numb to these sensations because we've done it so many times, or we're not consciously doing it. So we are not in the practice of sensing. We're not in the practice of noticing, observing what's happening internally. So um, the first time, just be aware of whatever is happening, as aware as you can be. and then the next time you will have a little bit more sensation. You will see it a little bit differently, and it goes on from there. So it's a develop it's a practice in development. You have to develop these practices over time, and then you'll start to notice the difference. So you can practice for about 5 days and see what happens, and then practice for about 15 days and see what happens. So the first thing to do is to, when you're sitting in a comfortable position, this breathing cycle, or this breathwork technique that I'm about to introduce to you, is a simple one that we've probably done before by ourselves. But I would like you to simply notice what happens when you change your breathing. So take a breath in for a few counts, maybe 4 or 5, as much as you can, and then hold that breath. So don't do anything. And watch what happens within. Hold the breath for 2 or 3 counts. Again, don't stress yourself. You just want it to be as comfortable as you are, and just hold it for as comfortable as you can be at that time. And then exhale longer than the amount, or the counts that you've taken in. So you've taken in 4 or 5 counts, exhale longer, 6 or 7 counts, and continue to do this. So if you've not done this breath work, you may struggle in the beginning to take in a breath and for that long. So take it in as long as you can. So if 3 or 4 counts is the maximum you can go, then make it 3 or 4 counts, hold for 2, and exhale for 4 or 5. So the reason we exhale longer, we want to push all the breath out from the lungs and completely empty the lungs as much as you can, and take in a fresh breath. So the breath is not stagnating inside of us. The breath is recycled. It's going in, it's coming out, and it's coming out completely, and it's going in fully. So usually before we start a breathing cycle, we usually empty the lungs first. So breathe naturally, empty the lungs, and then take a deep breath in. So you can try that if you're not used to it. So empty the lungs first, just breathe out, exhale as much as you can. You will feel your belly going inwards. You will feel your diaphragm contracting, your lungs expelling all the air out. And you want to feel these when you're doing a breathing technique, when you're doing breath work. You want to feel it as physically as you can, because you want to be as connected as you can to each breath. And this in itself, the breathing technique in itself, is a practice in mindfulness, is a practice in how mindful you can be when you're breathing, when you are consciously breathing, or when you're consciously regulating your breath. And so taking a deep breath, 1, 2, 3, 4, hold, 1, 2, 3, exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, as long as you can. So again, taking a deep breath, 1, 2, 3, 4, hold, 1, 2, 3, exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again, taking a deep breath, inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, hold, 1, 2, 3, exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. hold. Now allow your breath to come back to its natural cycle. So just breathe naturally and start to notice. Do you notice a difference between how you feel now and how you felt before? And whatever that difference is, perhaps you don't notice it at all. Don't worry. We can come again tomorrow or perhaps in a few hours and do this breathing technique again. Usually I think this is called pranayama or pranic breathing, and prana is life force. So your breath is your life force. It's a life force energy, and it's bringing in life force energy into you, and you are exchanging that life force energy with the planet. So use this breathing cycle as a beginner's practice. So if you're not used to breathing, if you're not used to practicing or becoming aware of your breath or being aware of your breath, if you're not used to that, this is a good start. This is a good way to start this practice for yourself. And I'll come back with a new technique and we'll move into that. Thank you very much.